Hi, welcome to Success Factors. I'm your host, Brenda Siri, and I'm here today with James Krakowski, Senior Vice President, National Retail for Samsung. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Brenda.
It's great to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Good, I am too. In looking at your career, you've worked for some amazing companies, including Sony, Bowers & Wilkins, Sound United, and now Samsung. As an operations leader, what would you say has been the most impactful thing that you've learned about leadership throughout your career?
That's such a great question. And for me, it's humility. For me, it's being humble in the way that you approach your teams, you approach your business, being authentic and being real. I find that to be the most important trait that I've found in leadership through all my positions. And
I really think that humble leaders end up with humble followers, right?
I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the core competencies that guide you in leadership and in your work approach?
Yeah, there are 4 core principles that I really try to instill in myself and in my team. And I have an acronym for it. I call it TAPS. Stands for transparency, accountability, prioritization, and simplification. I find if we're transparent and open and honest, we hold ourselves accountable, prioritize our actions, and we keep things simple. We don't overcomplicate it. Those core competencies will serve you in any aspect, and it's really the guiding principle that I hold myself to when I think about leading my teams and making business decisions, and it's what I ask my teams to guide them as well.
That's so impactful. As leaders, we did have to navigate the pandemic, right? One of the craziest times in our lives. What was happening in your career during COVID, and what challenges did you face during that time of uncertainty?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a time of uncertainty. And I think it was the point in time in my career that really shaped me for who I am today. It was a time where the entire world was trying to figure out how to move forward. And at the same time, I was leading a team with Bowers & Wilkins that had uncertainty in itself. It was a business that was on the verge of insolvency. It was going through potential exit from its current ownership. And I was asked to take on a leadership role as my first true operations role, leading not only sales and marketing, but HR, finance, logistics, service. And all of a sudden, the world's shutting down around me. But I go back to those 4 core competencies of what really drove me. And I put my people first. And in that time of uncertainty, I wanted to provide certainty not only to my people, but to my partners. And in doing so, I had to think about how did I maintain cash flow? How do I maintain payroll? As they were worried about their families, how did I provide them stability and security? And through that, I think it really shaped me as a leader. And I feel like even in a time of uncertainty, I provided that certainty to everyone else around me.
That's such an impactful thing to say. And I mean, I know so many people that were going through so much during that time, losing jobs, not knowing what was coming next. And having the right leadership during that time was crucial. It really was. So through that journey at Bowers & Wilkins, what did you learn about the financial aspects as you went through it?
Now, there's a lot of people that go through life knowing they want to go into investment banking, knowing that they want to be going to work for a commercial institution. Me as a sales guy, that was a lot new to me. I wasn't a finance person. I tell people today, if you're going to get a degree in finance. But what I learned is that when you're really managing a P&L, it's not just about the P&L aspects of it. It's about the cash flow. It's about looking at the valuation of the business, understanding EBITDA and how to do it. And because I was managing businesses across Canada, US, across South American and Latin American countries, and having a leadership team that supported me in the UK, I started understanding about the importance of free trade zones and exchange rates and the importance of your currency. And those are things that I had to learn on the fly. But it was something now that really intrigues me and something that I want to continue to drive forward with.
So with strong experience in supply chain management and logistics, what do you see are the major challenges that companies today may be facing coming out of the pandemic and especially now with the tariff era, right?
Yes. It's interesting. I think there's things that we can actually pull from and learnings during COVID. In that time of uncertainty we talked about, a lot of companies had a knee-jerk reaction to shut down their supply chain. They thought the world was going to come to an end. Which then contributed to this bullwhip theory of all of a sudden this unconstrained demand with constrained supply because supply chains were disruptive. ultimately, those that didn't have that knee-jerk reaction benefited during COVID. And I think the same is true today with the tariffs. I have a lot of concerns today when we look out towards the holiday season, because those POs that were required for long lead times were due right at the time when tariff announcements were being made. And so I think there's a lot of uncertainty still to this day, even as dynamic as this morning, there was an announcement on steel.
Right.
And uncertainty around finished goods. And I'm already hearing of companies stopping production on products based on the amount of steel they're using. But I think we have to go back to understanding, because of those long lead times, because of the need to secure transit lines, the need to secure containers, that we can't have a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes you just have to run your business. And with that is taking the risk. And that's part of the leadership, making that decision, right, wrong, or indifferent, to know what you need to deliver on your KPIs within the supply chain constraints.
And I know you are, you have a very people-first mentality and consider yourself a purpose-driven leader. What does being a purpose-driven leader mean to you?
It means my success is predicated on the success of my team. As a purpose-based leader, our job is to remove friction from our employees' day-to-day lives. It goes back to providing them that certainty and that security. One of my favorite books is Leaders Eat Last. I think it truly embodies purpose-based leadership, which is when everyone else feels fulfilled, when everyone around you knows that you're there to make their jobs easier, then that's true leadership. It's not management.
Yes, you're right. And does this approach actually improve the success of your team?
Oh, wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You see it, and it's hard for me to describe it being not an egotistical individual, but I sense it in the conversations with my teams. When I'm doing skip level meetings and I'm talking to those that are a couple levels below, the enjoyment I hear in their voices in an engagement with me of the appreciation, the way that I engage with them or with their partners, I think that shows that they're willing to walk through walls for me. It's not that I would ask them to, but that they're willing to.
Wow, that's great. And coaching and mentoring are something that leaders are either passionate about or they really aren't. I, for one, am a big coach, and I know you are too. And I talk to so many candidates today who actually leave leaders, not jobs. And, a lot of the things that I hear is there was no coaching. There was nothing there to help me grow. There was no mentoring. I was just kind of thrown into this job. Right. And I know that's something you're really passionate about as well. Why is that?
I think it's because I've had such great coaches and mentors that have shaped me to who I am today. There's actually an individual that he's a professor at TCU today that if it wasn't for him trusting in me and being a purpose-based leader, I don't think I would be the individual I am today. And so for me, being able to give back to those that not only work for me, but those that are around me, I feel like our purpose in life today is that we should make society and those around us better, allow them to be the best version of themselves. And sometimes mentorship and leadership comes from just daily conversations with those that just ask you a question. I had a good friend call me this morning who's a CEO of a company and had to make a tough decision and wanted my advice. And the fact that he trusted in me to justify the decision he had to make was fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Says a lot, right? You did just mention a professor at TCU, and if someone's watching this and is outside of Texas, they may not know that you're talking about Texas Christian University. And I know that you do some speaking there at the Neely School of Business. Tell me about those speaking engagements, and what do you hope to bring those students that you're speaking to?
Yeah, it's I guess it goes back to I fill my bucket through mentorship and leadership, and this one individual who's been a phenomenal mentor to me asked me once a semester to come and speak to his 3,000 level global ethics class. And what's fascinating about these students is that, as I said earlier, finance is such an important degree. 90% of them are all finance majors. And what I get from it is providing them real world applications about what they want to go into. As you spoke about tariffs, I had the pleasure of speaking to the class just a few months ago, and the tariff situation was real. And being able to give them real world examples of what they're going to have to engage with companies they may go to work for makes me feel good. And the ability for them to connect with me and continue to ask questions for me, I think continues to lead into that ethos of mentorship that I try to embody. I
know you and I have talked about this because I too do some teaching at at the University of Texas in Dallas, and there's just something so fulfilling when you've reached a certain point in your career, knowing that you can mentor and give something back to this next generation of leaders that we have coming. So I'm glad you have that opportunity.
Thank you.
We're going to shift gears and talk about something that is outside of the scope of what you do at Samsung that I know you're really, really passionate about. And that's an organization that you are the president of the board of directors for, called the On-Call Project.
Yes.
I'd love for you to tell our viewers a little bit more about the organization, how it was founded, and what the goal is for long-term success.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah.
The On-Call Project is a passion project of mine, and it really started with one of my best friends. We've been friends for over 30 years. We went through fraternity rush together. We actually went into law enforcement together, which a lot of people don't know that before I got into business, I had a very short, brief period as a peace officer in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow, okay.
And this individual, as I've shared, as we've been talking about mentorship, came to me saying, James, I want to be able to retire soon, but I don't know what to do. And it started this idea of how can business professionals become mentors to first responders wanting to transition from their public service to private service. First responders are very linear in their thought process. And us as business leaders, we're dynamic. We think on the fly. But the one commonality between the two is success under pressure. And so On-Call Project is the opportunity to provide resources to our first responder community to allow them to prepare for transition at any point in their career, whether that is they're rookies just entering into becoming first responders, or they're at the tail end of their career, and providing them holistic health support, mental health support, financial planning, resume writing skills, interview skills, and understanding what makes them want to get out of bed every day. It's a tragedy. Our first responders give so much to us every day, but the average life expectancy of a first responder is about 10 years less than the average life expectancy of anyone else.
Wow.
The average life expectancy is about 66 versus 85 for a normal adult who retires. And so we look at that and say, how do we bridge that gap? And that's what On-Call Project is all about. And we're looking for those that want to support our mission and supporting through mentorship or also just the ability to provide us the resources to continue this important mission.
Wow, that is phenomenal. And I will be the first to tell you, I would love to help with the resume writing, anything I could do to help
Truly
support the
appreciate
mission.
that.
I really love what you're doing
Truly
to help
appreciate
first responders, because they are constantly at risk and at danger. And I'm sure there is some level of even post-traumatic stress syndrome that can come with jobs like that, right?
100%.
Yeah. And so is part of what you're offering to them in the services, is it some type of support for that?
It is. So there are other partners that we have engaged with. One is called Warriors Rest. They're very well known in Oklahoma that provide support with our veterans community. Mm-hmm. And we're pulling learnings from what we offer our veterans to now offer our first responders. And that mental health piece is a key contributor to that shortened life expectancy. Mm-hmm. It's the personal self-destruction of loss of purpose, loss of drive. And that's where allowing them to elongate their careers by giving back to their communities in this private sector is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love what you're doing for first responders. I mean, it's completely admirable. And, giving others that have done so much for us as a community a second chance is a wonderful thing to do.
As you see here, if you'd love to contact us and gain more information or how you can support us, please reach out. Be happy to help.
Yes, absolutely. There's their website. It's www.oncallproject.com. And there is a QR code that you can click on your screen and take a snapshot of it. What will that QR code get them to? Will it take them right to your website?
It'll take us right to our website. And then also there's a form on how you can, to fill out on how you can support us, either financially or through services.
I love that. That's great. Well, James, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you today. I'm really thankful for you sharing your leadership insights with our viewers. I mean, you've had an amazing career, and I'm super thrilled to be sitting next to such a great leader. So thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You bet. That's it for Success Factors today, but we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.